Parks. This is Rose Belzung Holmes, and she is the director for the Kickerillo-Mischer Preserve.
Yes.
And you brought a buddy too?
Yes, so this is Michael Scherer. He's the executive director for one of our partner organizations, Fishing's Future. They do great work and they benefit a lot of different great organizations, and what they do for us is they provide equipment, training. They're donating some prizes for our fishing derby we have coming up tomorrow, and they also provide a little volunteers and expertise. So they're a great partner, and I'm going to let Michael share a little bit with you about
and before we
what
get
he
into
does.
all of that, let's go ahead and tell folks kind of the big thing that's happening tomorrow, which of course is you got like 7,500 trout coming. And we got some video of that, so let's take a look at that real quick. And Rose, tell us about that. What's going on there?
So tomorrow, Texas Parks and Wildlife is stocking 6 of our Precinct 4 ponds and lakes with about 7,500 total rainbow trout. And they're a cold water fish, so they don't live year round in all of our ponds. That's why they come in the winter. And so it's a great time for fishing, especially when the warmer weather fish are not biting quite as much.
And so you've got half a dozen parks out in Precinct 4, and they're all going to be stocking tomorrow.
Yes.
And again, we've got some more video of that. They come in trucks. Texas Parks and Wildlife delivers them. Tell us about that, because that's very interesting.
Yeah, so the trucks that they have different water containing compartments, and they have the rainbow trout in there that are about 10 to 12 inches average in length, although we do get smaller ones and bigger ones. But they bring them in the trucks, so they back them up to wherever they're going to offload them, attach a pipe, and then they pull a plug and they use a broom and just sweep them out. And before they do that, they want to check water conditions, so they check temperature and make sure that the fish are actually going to survive. So we've had that verified today. Our waters are cool enough, so we are on schedule for trout stocking tomorrow.
Okay, and Michael, they're a little bit delicate, yeah, the trout?
Well, yeah, I mean, you don't want to sit there. The nice thing about them, we want to catch and keep. These are not the type of fish that we're going to stock and then put them back in the water. We actually want the people that come out to Kickerillo-Mischer Preserve and some of these other Precinct 4 ponds and lakes to actually get the benefit of understanding how to catch those fish, but to clean those fish, take them home and cook those fish, because these fish don't look like little rectangles that you buy in your freezer store. They're very delicate, but they taste delicious.
Okay, that I love to hear that. Yeah. And Rose, you brought some samples, some fish, and they were flipping around live earlier, but didn't quite make it all the way
Yes,
downtown.
so that's the thing about fish, is they're a little temperamental and sensitive
They
sometimes.
need water.
So yeah, but these are a sample of some of the fish you can find year-round at the Kickerillo-Mischer Preserve and many of the other Precinct 4 ponds you'll fish at. These are a type of sunfish.
And we should let our Facebook friends know if you've got a question about trout, fishing, family fun activities. This is the chance. Go ahead and type in your question. We'll ask them here of Rose and of Michael. And you know, one of the things that you were gracious enough to do, in addition to this big setup, is you brought some bait with us.
Yes.
So you can show us how to bait a hook. Yeah.
Here, I'll get you a worm out.
Oh,
Okay, great.
yeah. And so you guys, and so these are my favorite kind, because these are just like
The non-live, squirmy kind.
Yeah, these are like little pellets, but these are actual live earthworms.
Yes.
I don't know if you guys can see that. So a collective ew from city slickers like me. I don't know how well you can see that. Yep, and they are going along. So Rose and Michael, why don't you tell us how this is done?
You did a great job earlier.
All right, okay.
But you don't need a lot of bait. We normally, when we're fishing for rainbow trout, the hook is a little smaller, like a size 10. But you don't need a lot of worms. So you use a pair of scissors to cut them. You pinch them with the 2 hands, your 2 little fingers, and you run the worm right up the hook. So as this is in the water, dangling and having fun, it's sensing for all the hungry fish to come in to grab it, and then so you can set that smile.
Oh my goodness, and that's the deal, right? They're like really wiggly and
Wiggly.
Yes, I know. And actually, we had a couple of escapees earlier while you were
did.
doing
Yeah.
it.
They're still running.
So there may be one, somebody coming down the Avenida
they're
may have a
born
little
discovered green.
stowaway on their sneaker or something like that. Yeah, a little. All righty, I'm trying to. My dad always did that when I was growing up.
Well, yeah, and if you don't, there's also different kinds of artificial baits.
Yeah.
Even various baits like little mealworms.
Okay.
If we
Somewhere
can find
in
one in
there.
here. I think they all escaped out earlier.
So if there are anybody with questions or comments, go ahead. I'm going to ask our producer, Randy, back at the station to go ahead and text me those because I'm having a little trouble actually seeing it on my Facebook page right here.
There
we
you
want to
go.
be able to answer your questions. So what are some of the rules? That's very important because this is...
That is a state fishing license for the state of Texas. So if you're 17 or older, you need to have one of these to fish in any public water unless you're fishing in a state park. So we're a county park, so you do need a fishing license. And each species has a different rule of whether or not there's a length limit, a bag limit, which is the number of fish that you can take. So for the rainbow trout, there's no size limit. It's just 5 per person per day. And the other ones depend, sometimes they'll change year to year, depending on how many fish are taken each year.
Right, and we've got some video of the kids really enjoying, you know, fun, having a good time out there, and they're just watching those fish getting kind of spit out of the big tube. So now we have an important question: is where do people go, you know, and when? So let's walk on over here a little bit because I want people to see some of the maps that you brought us so you can explain. So there are like half a dozen different parks, yeah?
Well, there's about half a dozen different ones that we're getting our trout stocked in.
Okay.
We do have over 30 parks and pocket parks in our precinct 4 area. So there's a lot of places that you can visit parks and go fishing. We just have 6 that are getting the trout.
And they are along the creek here, yeah?
Yeah,
This
so
is Cypress.
This is Cypress Creek. So all these little green spaces with the numbers and the arrows are all of the parks you can visit. And up here is Spring Creek as well. So we also have parks along Spring Creek.
And we should let people know you can go to your Facebook page for the all-important information of tomorrow.
That's right, when and where the trucks will be.
Okay,
Yes.
so what time and what park you need to be at. And your park is here at the Kickerillo-Mischer Preserve. Michael,
Yes.
I'm going to ask you to stand back here. And this kind of is a map of that and show folks where the truck typically parks if you're interested in coming out here.
So this is the entrance. It's over here off of Highway 249. This is Chasewood Park Drive. And so the truck will drive all the way to the back of the park. And right here we have a canoe launch. They'll back down the canoe launch ramp, and that's where they'll dump the rainbow trout.
And one of our folks is asking, in addition to, where do you go to see all of this, what's the average size of the fish that are stocked?
So the average size is probably going to be 10 to 12 inches, though there are some that are a little smaller and a little larger. That would be the average size.
Okay, and are most folks, Michael, able to go ahead and clean the fish themselves? Or?
A lot of them, you know, as we say, people want to know how to fish, they just don't know how to fish. So that's what Fishing's Future does, is we partner up with Precinct 4s and other people across the United States, and we do family fish camps. And we do them for free. So we're always looking for sponsorships and other things, but there's a lot of times when there's a lot of give back too, and that's where those partnerships are very important. But we want to teach families how to get out there together. It's reconnecting them to get back outdoors using fishing as the hook. Our brand is actually 2 lowercase f's that are embracing each other for families forever. So Shane Wilson, the founder of Fishing Future back in 2007, and I have to give a little slip here because this Friday, Shane Wilson, the founder and the program of Fishing's Future, he is the inductee into the Texas Freshwater Fisheries Hall of Fame.
Oh, there's a Hall
so
of
this
Fame.
June, Shane Wilson and his program will be up at Lake Fork with the Texas Parks and Wildlife at a big banquet, and he will be going into the Texas Hall of Fame for the state of Texas.
Congratulations.
So we're very
to
excited
Shane.
about that, to bring these programs across the state of Texas and the U.S.
All right, and we should let people know that if you go to our Facebook page, we will have links to your Facebook page, other information about licensing and all of that, so they can click on that tomorrow to see, you know, when the fish will be arriving. Now, I'm going to ask you to show us. We're going to do a little casting demo here because, hey, that's what Michael's group does.
That's what we do.
And I need all the help I can get.
Okay.
So he's going to show us how. You want to grab one, Rose, and we'll see how this is done. Okay.
Well, this is a spin cast.
Okay.
It's probably one of the easiest besides that other tube over there called a cane pole.
Oh.
So a lot of times in our family fish camps and what they do at the Kickerillo-Mischer Preserve, they do something called backyard bass. And it's a great way for families to come together and learn how to cast. So we normally want to reel
This
up
down,
a little bit.
real quick. I'm just gonna put that to the side. All right.
This is a spin cast. It's
Yep.
always on top. We have a placeholder for your index finger,
Okay.
your handle, and then your thumb does all the.
Okay. Like this.
So right there. Now you
Like
want
that.
to push it down.
This,
Because
yep.
when you let go,
It'll
let go.
release.
You just let go. Yeah, things happen.
Okay.
Okay. So we want to reel up.
All righty.
We don't want to go all the way to the top. We
Okay.
want to stop right there.
All right.
Now we want to make sure these trees are away from you.
Because I caught some leaves.
I did. I
last
was watching
time.
you
I know.
earlier. It was
I caught
kinda
my
nice.
bag limit in leaves.
So really, if you're a right-handed fisherman, you don't really need this,
Okay.
this hand. You can kind of put that aside.
All right. One
When you push the button down, you want to hold it down.
Okay.
Hold it down. Now you're going to go back, make sure there's no one behind you.
All right. Most important.
Now, that if you remember the face clock, you know, this is 12, this is 1, 2, and if this is 11, 10, about 2 o'clock, you're going to let go of that button.
Okay.
Okay, you ready? Do
I am.
one smooth motion. Just
One
let it go.
smooth motion. Here we go. All right.
And let her go. Oh my gosh, look at that.
Alrighty.
Now let's stop for a second because
Oh.
now we need to get
the
this
fish are
hand.
getting away.
I know, but you got to
Yeah.
hurry up and move this over. You don't want to put your hand back here
Oh.
because if you catch the big one,
Oh, which I
then
will, yes.
you will.
Uh-huh.
We're going to move this hand up here,
Okay.
start rolling it, and start lining that fish up
Okay.
with that
well,
blue
let's try
one
the blue
right in the
one.
middle.
Let's see if I can do it. All righty.
Oh,
let's
come on,
see.
come on,
Here we
we're
go.
almost there.
We got-
Now you want to set the hook and roll it in.
There
Look
we
at there.
Go. Oh, dinner is coming.
Dinner is served.
All right. Oh,
Now with the bluefish, now we can also, there's a lot of things you can do with the backyard bass, especially in the educational process, is we might put a fish here, like a sample of a Texas fish, with a size. So now they look at the fish and they have to go to the outdoor annual and look up that fish to make sure they understand the rules and regulations.
the right size.
Yeah, because you can't eat this fish.
No.
I don't think you really want to eat this fish.
That's too
But
bad.
again, how do you think you're going to put this back in the water? Are you just going to throw it?
Sure.
No, we want to release our fish.
How do
If
you-
you're not going to keep this fish
Oh,
to
I'm
eat
gonna
it,
unhook it.
Yeah, we want
Yeah.
to unhook it. We want to get a kiss.
Oh.
You have to give it a kiss, and then we put it back in the water.
All righty. Let me check and see if there are any other questions from our Facebook friends here. Let's see what we got going, if there's anything, any updates. All right, very good. No, looks like we're doing good here. Looks like you've answered a lot of questions. Real quick, Rose, is there anything you want to tell us? I think you have some programs, again, maybe they're free or minimal charge for
So
folks?
the great thing about my job is we get to make living in Harris County fun. Since we're paid by tax dollars, this is your programs. It's free for you to attend. A lot of that information of the programs you can find can be found on our website, on our Facebook page. We do have some publications that you can sign up online to receive in your mailbox, so you don't even have to do any work for it. You can just say, send me this, and they'll send it in the mail. You get a quarterly publication called The Happenings, and it lists programs in our park, in other parks, all over the precinct. So wherever you
Fish
live, there's
camps,
something for you.
Fish contests.
Yes.
Fish classes.
That's right. And other things, if fish isn't your thing, we do things all across the board. Birds, nature journaling, nature hikes, cocoa with a ranger, you know, lots of fun things for everyone.
All right, something to keep in mind when we get spring break coming up in another month or so, another 2 months maybe. All right, and real quick, one of our Facebook friends want to know what type of trout tomorrow.
These are rainbow trout.
Rainbow trout. There you go. I've had rainbow trout. They're quite tasty.
They're
Trout
very good.
amandine. I like it quite well. All right. All right. Well, thank you very much, Facebook friends, for joining us. Thank you, Michael. Thank
Thank you.
Rose.
Thank you for
bringing a little bit of the great outdoors here. And you know what? Before we go, let me see. Oh no!
And did they crawl away?
Did they run away?
Yes. Looks like we've lost a worm. One of them has escaped down here.
Well, that's okay.
That's okay. All righty. One last look at our
Do we want to
earthworms.
like pull one out?
Oh,
you gonna
yeah.
hook it?
There you
Here
go.
we go. Look at this.
Oh. All right.
That's
Just
all it
remember,
takes right there.
you don't have to use live bait, moms and dads. Moms. Me. All right. Thanks a lot. We will see you next time, Facebook friends. Ciao. Thanks for being with us.